This was in the afternoon. It was probably around 2:30 UTC in the afternoon on day 4 of the Route du Rhum. We're going upwind, but fast upwind, like 70 through wind angle. In a sea state that wasn't bad. I couldn't say it was bad. It's just our speed was difficult because we were so fast, around between 18 and 22 knots. That was making sometimes the life a bit difficult on board. But I had the J2 and Reef 2. I was not far, but I was my J3 was ready as well. I was waiting a bit more. I know the wind was increasing. It was planned to increase a little bit, but I thought it was still safe handling. So it was daylight because it was in the afternoon. I was well rested, well fed, and so everything was fine. Nothing was damaged, I thought, on the boat at that time. So far it was a good race on that side. And after a jump over a wave, probably a little harder than others, I heard a crack and thought it was the dagger board, even if the board was higher than deck level, which is quite far up. And then I came out, I looked around, and I saw on the front leeward, how do you call it, the crossbeam. Probably 1 meter away from the float, the crossbeam was broken, and then it went very, very quick. In probably 2-3 seconds, I was easing the traveler, and the float came out of the crossbeam, and I think it was still linked at that time with the aft crossbeam, the float and the aft crossbeam, but because the front was not linked to the float, the boat just capsized almost, like went. The mast was at the horizontal and the platform was vertical. So I was pretty disoriented at that time, but damage was done. So my first concern was to find survival chute, life raft, and grab bag. So I found that very, very quick, and I realized that in fact there was no massive panic because very quick I had the feeling that the boat will stay afloat and that no water will come in the boat, which was my first concern at the beginning. So I put the survival chute, and then I call Jean Morel, the race director, who I didn't reach. I left a message, and then I called Seb Chenier from Oman Sail, our coordinator, and explained him the situation. And I told him I was going to put my, how you call it, the beacon?
Your EPIRB.
Yeah, the EPIRB, yeah. And but for sure there was necessity of salvage, and that's it.
When this happened, your immediate reaction was that you were safe. Did you ever think that your life might be in danger? That this problem might be really serious?
Well, when you both break, you realize it's very serious. But talking about my life, no, I think very, very quick I realized that first I think I had a good reflex, looking for the survival chute and stuff like that. The debrief, the safety debrief we had before leaving in Saint-Malo was still fresh in my mind, so I think that was good, important debrief. And no, I don't think I ever got scared for my life. I was somehow in control of that, and no, I didn't have fear. But my first concern very soon after that was because I knew the boat was totally broken, was to find a way to tell the family without making them too scared. And I think very, very quickly they realized it was safe, so that was a good thing.
Did you think about that? Did you have anything that you thought you might be able to do?
Yeah, well, yes, I thought about that, but it was at the beginning I didn't want to go out of the companionway too much because there were cables moving around the exit. The shrouds were just in front of the door, so I thought it was a bit dangerous, and I wanted to look at the situation a little more before going outside. And then I've been thinking about cutting the rig and let go the mast. which was probably a good solution because I think it's not in sandwich, so it would have probably sink. But the problem is to do that, you need to cut many cables, and some of them were attached on the free float, on the broken float. Well, which the float is not broken at all, but it was separate from the boat. And then that was pretty difficult because on the leeward side you had the float, the free float, the wild float, I would say, and the wild broken mast as well. So I think it was too dangerous to try that.
For sure, that would be way too dangerous to do. So describe then. You'd set off your EPIRB. I know that there's another spare tracker on the boat. How did you deal with the waiting for the rescue, and how did you get in touch with the ship when it arrived?
After very quick, not long after I called Jean Morel, the race director, he told me he was going to call the CROSS, which is the French organization for safety at sea. And not long after, they gave me a call because my Iridium phone on the boat was working. And after a few tries, I managed to give them my position. And not long after, I had a phone call from Portuguese rescue organization asking me if I was ready to leave the boat. And my first answer was yes, but when they asked me the question, suddenly I was a bit concerned, I would say. I said yes, the first answer, but then I thought, is it really the right thing to do? And I had to think about that a bit more, and I think that was the correct decision because there's nothing I could do on the boat right now. So before leaving, to make sure we could track the boat, I just put a OC tracker that we had a spare. And also we have, how do you call the French,
the Argos beacon,
which is also giving a signal of where the boat is at the moment. And I had to take the rescue one off the boat to make sure we stop it, and which is a signal to tell the world that the rescue operation is finished. Just
briefly describe how the guys got you on board the ship.
Well, it's a boat. They're coming from Canada and they're going to Turkey, I think. They don't know if we stop in Gibraltar or in Malta. The reason for the stop is to refuel. We are doing 13 knots towards Gibraltar at the moment, and for them it's a risky situation. So people were great, and they risked their life for me, especially when we had to climb back because they put a small rescue boat in the water to come and pick me up, and they risked their life to come and rescue me. So I'm not feeling very proud about that. And here on the ship, I'm very welcome, but I can see as well that life continue. For them, they're away from home for more than 9 months in a row. So that's a bit of an excitation, but they just life just keep going.
Okay, and just when when you left the boat, can you just briefly describe the state of the boat of Oman Emajan when you left her?
Yeah. So just before I left the boat, just after the accident, the boat capsized. So the platform was vertical and the mast horizontal. Not long after that, at that time the mast was still one piece. Not long after that, the mast broke. As the mast broke, the platform came back almost horizontal with a heel of something like between 15 and 20 degrees. And just before I left Majan, in fact, it came back absolutely horizontal, so floating between the port float and the main hull. And the reason for that is that the starboard float, I think, came totally loose because it was still attached partially by the aft cross beam, and then finally it broke, and which I thought was a good thing, but in fact I don't think it is, because then the float came underneath the starboard cross beams, and I think now it's a free float, and this free float is just hitting the main hull. So I don't know which one will resist, but I don't think it's good. It's two pieces now hitting each other, and the mast is still attached, of course.
So it sounds like you made the right decision to leave the boat as quickly as possible. Sydney, just one last question I have to ask you in English and French. In English, when you think you'll be able to get off this cargo, the bulk carrier ship in Gibraltar, when do you think you'll arrive in Gibraltar?
It's not very clear. I asked. They told me they have an ETA of the 6th, but I think you can probably see that. We're doing 13 knots, and we were north of the Azores, so it should be probably easy for you to calculate that. For me, they still do their watch system, and I didn't have time to speak much with them, and I tried to be as discreet as possible to make me accept the better as possible as well by the captains and those people.
Okay, and yourself, how you feel? Did you get hurt at all? Are you tired?
No,
What's your
I
feeling?
didn't get hurt really at all. I have absolutely no injury in the crash.
And
how do I feel? I don't know. I feel strange.